Manifest Divine Deliverance, 30 minutes of supernatural warfare against 7 evil assignments. In the quaint town of Everwood, whispers spread like wildfire. Shadows lurked around corners, and dread shrouded homes like a thick fog. 7 evil assignments, they cried, families plagued, hearts divided. But for Eliza, a devoted mother with faith that soared higher than the rolling hills, this darkness was just another battle for her to fight, armed only with the power of God. One fateful evening, the church hall buzzed with fervor. Scripture verses danced in the air, mingling with the scent of fresh-baked bread. "Tonight, we take back what belongs to us," Eliza asserted, gripping her Bible tightly as if it were a sword ready for battle. Families joined hands, hearts pounding with anticipation. "We call upon Saint Michael, Saint Jude, divine protectors, arise." Their voices blended into a symphony, building an atmosphere that crackled with the essence of the supernatural. Suddenly, the windows rattled and the room filled with an unearthly light. Gasps echoed as the congregation felt a palpable shift in the energy. The presence of the divine enveloped them. Eliza's heart raced. This was no ordinary night. The air pulsed with divine authority, like thunder before a storm, a promise of miraculous outcomes. As they prayed, startling stories unfolded. A woman named Mary, once taken by despair, found herself able to walk after years of an aching back. A man's blindness vanished like a morning mist. Eliza witnessed it all, tears of awe streaming down her cheeks. These were not random occurrences, they were pieces of a greater mosaic, proof of God's unfailing love. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue, but just as the atmosphere brimmed with hope, a wave of skepticism swept through Everwood. Rumors of Eliza's gatherings were twisted into mockery. A fanatic, they labeled her, eyes narrowed with disbelief. Yet, Eliza stood resolute, urging her neighbors to embrace the light. "Together, we'll rise above this darkness. It's not just my son at stake, it's our very souls." Then came that fateful night. Dark clouds rolled in as Eliza knelt alone in her garden, heartbreak tightening around her like a vice. Fear threatened to extinguish the flame of faith she fought so hard to uphold. Tears spilled, and amidst her sorrow, the sky split open. A voice echoed, resonant and powerful, "This battle is won in unity. Love conquers all, faith dispels shadows." Eliza shot upright, heart ablaze. It was time to rally her community once more. Guided by that transformative word, she called them to gather again. This time, fervor flared brighter than before, prayers becoming a force like a tidal wave crashing through the land. As they joined, hands held tightly, a collective whisper of amen surged like a symphony through the town, igniting hearts and renewing hope. Beneath this fervent outpouring, something shifted. An otherworldly battle unfolded, pitting light against dark. Everwood trembled as shadows churned, tangible figures of despair taking their stand. Eliza resolved to reclaim their spirits one prayer at a time. Would they stand united? The path ahead was uncertain, but with faith ignited, the embers of love and hope began to cast away the lingering darkness. Would God's divine plan unfold in their midst? The answer hung in the balance, waiting to be revealed. The air crackled with anticipation as the night deepened in Everwood. Eliza felt the weight of her duty resting heavily on her shoulders. As she stood at the front of the church, she looked out over familiar faces, some filled with ardent belief, others cloaked in doubt. "Tonight," she proclaimed, her voice steady and passionate, "we fight not only for ourselves but for every soul shackled by fear. The darkness will cower at our unity." The congregation erupted into fervent applause. Hearts began to beat as one, and Eliza could almost tangibly feel the energy of their faith rising, spiraling towards the heavens. Candles flickered, casting gentle shadows that danced against the walls, a reminder that even the smallest light can push back the fiercest gloom. As the worship continued, Eliza invited each member to share their struggles. A young mother, her voice quivering with the tremors of anxiety, confessed, "I feel alone, trapped in the chaos of my mind while my children suffer as well." With a comforting smile, Eliza wrapped her arms around the woman, praying fervently for her peace. "You're not alone. God walks this journey with us. We will lift each other up." One by one, they shared their burdens. The fabric of their collective pain began to weave a tapestry of prayer. Each story was met with empathetic cries and promises of support. With each shared heartache, it became abundantly clear the strength of their community outweighed the shadows that sought to consume them. The room transformed into sacred ground as Eliza led them in prayer, lifting their voices in a chorus that mingled with the rustle of wind against the stained glass. "All fear be cast away. Spirit of doubt, be silenced now. We stand united in His love." The eternal truth resonated powerfully, cutting through confusion and uncertainty. As they poured their hearts into the atmosphere, Eliza felt warmth flooding the space, a divine presence enveloping them. Suddenly, the church doors flung open, and a gust of cool air swept in, extinguishing the candles momentarily. Gasps filled the room, yet no hesitation followed. Hands tightened around one another. Eliza seized the moment, sensing it as a divine test. "Stay strong. We shall not waver. Our God is here." When the lights flickered back on, the congregation gasped again, but this time not from fear. They were met with the sight of a heavenly figure shimmering at the altar, a radiant angelic being bathed in golden light. "Fear not, beloved children," the voice echoed like thunder within the confines of their hearts. "Your prayers rise like incense before the throne of grace. Deliverance is at hand." Eliza corralled her energy into focused prayer, seeking God's revelation for the impending battle. "What must we do?" she cried out, voice breaking under the weight of divine urgency. And in that moment, Eliza was filled with an inexplicable peace. The presence of hope enveloped her like a warm blanket. "Stand firm," the figure urged. "Witness as the chains of despair are loosed. Remain steadfast, united, and pray like never before." As the congregation echoed the prayer, the atmosphere thickened, vibrating with expectancy. Shadows resisted, crashing against the light, but Eliza felt the undeniable push of divine intervention. The battle raged on, but the hearts of Everwood stood brighter, roused from slumber and ready to reclaim their freedom. In the depths of that sacred struggle, a question echoed through Eliza's mind. Would they rise victorious? Would darkness finally retreat against the insurmountable light forged by their unity? The clock ticked on a countdown to a decisive moment awaited ahead, steady and breathtaking. The air shifted in Everwood as the congregation held its collective breath, waiting for the angelic being's next words to penetrate the veil of uncertainty enveloping them. Hope crackled in the atmosphere like static electricity, awakening dormant faith within their hearts. Eliza lifted her chin, locking eyes with the radiant figure at the altar. She could feel the urgency pulsing through her veins, igniting her spirit. They had come so far together, and it was time to act, to trust in the divine promise that hung in the air. "What do we do now?" she implored once more, the words tumbling from her lips, filled with a mix of desperation and determination. The angel's golden glow grew brighter, illuminating the room with a warm light that wrapped around them like a loving embrace. "Gather your faith," the angel commanded, each syllable reverberating as if spoken directly into their souls. "Take each fear, every doubt, and give them shape in your prayers. Let them transform into weapons of light." Eliza turned to her congregation, her voice rising to meet the angel's decree. "You heard that. Each of you has the strength to transform your struggles into prayers. Speak them out. Let every worry, every chain, and every sorrow become the very fuel with which we set ourselves free." In unison, the room filled with fervent voices. Cries for healing rose like incense floating heavenward. I pray for healing, shouted the young mother. I pray for clarity, a man called from the back. Others joined in, weaving together a tapestry of petitions that danced through the air. The walls vibrated with their faith, the sound echoing like thunder in the heavens. Eliza leaned into the surge of prayer, guiding them deeper. Focus on the chains that bind you. Bring them into the light. We will stand together and declare their end. The congregation shouted one by one, the sound rising like a mighty chorus, chains be broken. Fear be cast out. Hope arise. As they prayed, a sound like rushing water filled the church, drowning out darkness and despair. Eliza closed her eyes, envisioning a great tide sweeping over the barriers of their hearts, washing away the doubts that had clung to them for too long. It felt as though every word uttered was a stepping stone on the path towards their promise of freedom. Then, as if responding to their call, shadows began to writhe and recoil in the corners of the sanctuary. Whispers of fear and anxiety quieted, devoured by the fierce brightness emanating from each person standing together in unwavering faith. Eliza opened her eyes to see the angel standing poised, a dazzling sword of light in hand, ready to strike against the very source of darkness. Now, the angel announced, raising the sword high, for the chains to break, you must speak the truth. Declare the victory that is yours. Eliza raised her own voice, soaring above the din, victory is ours. We are children of the light. We shall not be shaken. The congregation erupted into agreement, pounding their fists into the air, their collective faith igniting the very fabric of existence around them. Yet, even amidst the celebration of their unity, doubt crept in like an unwelcome guest. Silently, a question flickered in Eliza's heart. Would they have the strength to hold on to stay united in the face of the unknown? The clock ticked on, the weight of the struggle still heavy in the air, whispering of imminent battle still to be fought. What other challenge lay ahead? Could they truly vanquish the shadows that threatened their light? As the congregation's voices began to dim, a profound stillness blanketed the room, laden with anticipation. Eliza felt a shift, a stirring of energy as the angel lowered the sword of light, its brilliance illuminating the soft features of the believers before her. Their faces glowed with fervor and hope, yet shadows of uncertainty flickered in their eyes, and Eliza caught her breath, seeking to quell those fears. Listen. The angel commanded, its voice resonating through the hearts of everyone present. The enemy may have launched its attacks, but each of you possess a greater power within. The power of your prayers. The power of your faith. Stand firm, and let your voices roar like lions. Eliza took a stepping forward, the warmth of the angel's presence enveloping her. We are not alone. In this moment, we become instruments of divine unity, she proclaimed, pointing to the congregation that breathed as one. So together, we must rise, for every struggle we face is an opportunity for God's light to shine through. As each person pondered her words, their voices grew alive again, a cascading wave of prayer bursting forth. Strengthen us, O Lord. They cried, guide us in our fight against the darkness. From the corners of the room, Eliza sensed the darkness attempting to creep back, testing their resolve. No! She cried, her voice snapping like a twig in the silence. This is our moment to stand vibrant and strong against every trial. Let us take hold of the weapons of worship, the shields of faith, and the swords of the Spirit. The atmosphere turned electric as chants of victory and freedom surged, harmonizing to strengthen their petition for divine intervention. The angel nodded, eyes flashing with approval, and the sword of light reflected off their walls, casting rays of hope that danced like stars across the room. Eliza's soul soared. Let us confront the darkness that looms over our anguish, remembering that even greater than our troubles is the love that holds us. Keep your hearts focused on the promises of our Lord. He is with us, now and forever. The angel stepped forward, seemingly merging with the ever-increasing aura of light. As you stand united, visualize each chain binding you, every fear lingering like a shadow. Speak their names, surrender them to God. don't fear to declare their end. Depression, be gone, shouted a woman, her voice solid and unwavering. Anxiety, you have no hold on me, cried a teenager, eyes blazing with youthful conviction. Lies, be cast into the darkness from whence you came. Another voice rang out, anchoring their collective determination. The air thickened with the weight of their prayers, building a fortress of faith, each word like bricks laid together, forming walls to protect them. Eliza felt a rush of divine certainty surge within the sanctuary. But just as quickly as their courage swelled, a sudden chill swept across the room, causing Eliza's heart to hesitate. A voice echoed in her mind, taunting and cruel. What if this wasn't enough? What if the shadows returned, fiercer than ever? She quickly shook off the doubt, grounding herself in promises made. Fear not, for he is always by our side. The angel raised the sword high once more, its shimmering blade encased in the golden light. Prepare yourselves, for as you break the chains, the enemy shall take its last stand. And as the air crackled with divine anticipation, Eliza understood something profound was about to unfold. Each of their voices harmonized with an otherworldly power, energizing them like never before, but just as victory seemed within reach, the weight of a deeper challenge whispered in the corners of Eliza's spirit. What if the final battle lay not with the chains they could name, but with unspoken fears buried deep? Would they be brave enough to face the fears that had silently shaped their lives? The atmosphere pulsed with faith, each heartbeat echoing a magnetic energy. Eliza felt the angel's presence draw closer, enfolding her and the gathered congregation in a cocoon of hopeful anticipation. She could sense the weight of unspoken fears lurking, dangerous shadows that yearned to be addressed. There is a battle before us, the angel declared, its voice a tranquil yet commanding tide. But to conquer, you must first unearth the darkness that gnaws at your hope. Your victories are intertwined with your willingness to confront these fears head-on. Eliza glanced around. Those she loved, those with whom she had prayed for so long, were filled with determination and doubt alike. It is time, she urged gently, to bring forth what has been hidden. Let your voices rise with intention. Speak the chains of your silent battles. A soft murmuring began, a hesitant tide washing over the congregation. Shame, someone murmured, I release you. I renounce betrayal. Echoed another, bolder now. With each confession, the air seemed to shimmer, layers of darkness dissipating like fog in the morning sun. Eliza felt her spirit surge with each declaration of release. Guilt, be uprooted. A man shouted, his voice ringing with newfound strength. Fear of failure, I bind you. Shouted a woman, her arms lifting as if casting a net into the abyss of her past. Eliza pressed her eyes shut, allowing the current of declarations to fuel the fire within her. She sensed the angel moving among them, crafting a tapestry of light from their confessions, weaving their minds together with hope and healing. Do not forsake this moment. The angel proclaimed, its wings billowing with the power of transformation. Your words carry weight in the heavens, they carve paths toward liberation. Speak, and set your spirits free. The utterance swept through the room like a wave, drawing forth prayers from shadows hidden beneath layers of circumstance. Rejection, I refuse you, was cried out with fervor. Isolation, I trespass on you no more. Another voice rang clear. A light awakened within Eliza, a warmth that spread through her chest, igniting a sense of divine urgency. She needed to fight her own shadows, naming her fears was part of that battle. Comparison, I break your hold. She shouted, her voice rising above the others, tearing through the past that had silenced her. As her words hung in the air, the congregation fell into a deeper intensity of prayer, their harmony swelling and mixing with the angel's light. Eliza could feel their collective strength, a rising tide with no end in sight, a revolution of light against darkness, but suddenly, she felt an undeniable stillness envelop her, leaving her shaken. The angel moved closer, its presence pulsating against the chill settled deep within her spirit. Do you feel the weight of the battle? It whispered, in tones that seemed to resonate with her very soul. The struggle is more than you see. Your most profound fears may yet linger. Can you, together, face the deepest wound, the core of your unrest? As the congregation took their breaths, murmurs of apprehension mixed with tentative resolve flowed around Eliza. Would they dare unveil the very source of their pain? Together we stand, Eliza declared, louder now, her heart pounding with courage. No fear is too deep. No wound is beyond healing. Let us face what has been buried. In response, a hush fell over the room, a stillness pregnant with possibility. Each heart beat in unison, generating an expectancy that was palpable. Would they summon the courage to confront the deepest shadows of their souls? Would the chains binding their fears be broken? The fight had just begun, and every voice was crucial. Breathe, dear ones. Eliza exhaled. What shall be revealed? As Eliza's voice faded into a reverent hush, a sacred stillness filled the air. Eyes turned toward one another, a glimmer of shared resolve flickering like candles lit against the dark. The congregation felt the presence of something extraordinary, a divine promise that change was within reach, hovering just above their heads, waiting for them to step into it. Let every heart unfurl, the angel's voice swept through them, soft yet thunderous. Breathe deep the spirit of truth and embrace the light of your confessions. Eliza placed a hand on her heart, feeling its tempo steady amid the gathering storm. What shadows remain? She thought, her mind racing. The deeper wounds, unseen, long buried under the weight of silence, would they rise? The air crackled with tension as if nature itself held its breath. A woman stood, her hands trembling as if electrified. I carry the weight of bitterness, she began, her voice quaking, bitterness against those who have hurt me. I set you free. The very sound of her release echoed off the walls, stirred like leaves in a soft breeze. As she spoke, a light flickered brighter, illuminating their spirits. The weight shifted, heaviness was lifting. I too! Shouted a youth from the back, his face flushed with passion. I break the chains of addiction. I will not be bound. A ripple of gasps and murmurs spread throughout as the congregation reacted, an awakening blossoming among them. With each proclamation, each declaration, Eliza felt a fire igniting in the hearts around her. It was as if a dam had burst, unleashing healing waters that rushed forth to cleanse and renew. Regret. Another voice cried, breaking through her thoughts. I am free from you. Anxiety, I depart from your grasp. A solemn man declared, tears streaming down his face. With every cry, hope swirled higher, enveloping the room. It felt as though they were warriors atop a grand battlefield, united under a common banner, the relentless pursuit of freedom. Eliza's faith mingled with theirs, fueling a collective spirit that soared above their struggles. Release your burdens. The angel beckoned, its wings catching the divine light streaming from their hearts. Each word spoken breaks chains unseen, setting loose the power of healing. Speak now, for the heavens are listening. Eliza felt the vibrant energy wash over her, a wave that pushed her forward. I stand. She exclaimed, her voice rising to meet the clarity of purpose unfurling within. I confront my fears, fear of abandonment, fear of not being enough. I claim my worth. Her confession ignited fervor, others joined in, their voices melding into a harmonious choir of freedom. I release disappointment. I forsake despair. I renounce doubt. Eliza's spirit soared as she witnessed the raw vulnerability of her friends present, some smiling through tears, others trembling with weight lifted. Together, they painted a portrait of resilience, connecting deeply with the divine essence in one another. But just then, a sudden chill enveloped the room, as the presence of the angel darkened momentarily. An unseen tension glimmered in the atmosphere. Beware, the angel cautioned, its voice carrying urgency. In facing truths, some may feel the sting of opposition. For darkness does not wish to yield. Whispers of fear echoed through the room, creating waves of uncertainty. Could there be threats to their newfound strength? Eliza thought, her heart sinking at the mere notion. Together we are strong. She shouted. We can fight against even the fiercest storms. Yet, inside, she felt the weight of doubt rise. Was their resolve able to withstand the battle ahead? Do not relent, do not retreat. The angel encouraged, drawing closer. Your prayers have the power to shift realms. Be steadfast. What are you willing to confront next? As they inhaled this sacred moment, uncertainty hung like mist in the air. In the depth of their souls, would they dare to forge ahead in unison? Would they fight for their freedom against unseen adversaries? The air was thick with sacred tension, a beckoning into the unknown. What shall we discover next? Eliza pondered, the weight of divine adventure pressing upon her heart as they leaned into the next chapter of their journey. Eliza took a deep breath, grounding herself amid the swirling currents of emotion. The angel's presence loomed large, urging them to step boldly into the tempest ahead. With hearts beating as one, the congregation formed a circle, hands clasped tightly, each grip a promise of solidarity against any darkness that might come. Let our voices rise together, the angel declared, and Eliza felt the charge of its call echo within her. For in unity, there is strength. In faith, there is victory. The atmosphere shifted, and a ripple of excitement coursed through them. It felt as if they were on the brink of something monumental, an impending eruption of faith that could conquer the deepest shadows. We all have our battles, Eliza began, her words spilling forth as if they had been held back for too long. What are the fears, the doubts, the stains that linger? Speak them, and together we will cast them out. As if triggered by her invitation, voices surged forward, each declaration sharpening their collective focus. I renounce the spirit of deception. A woman cried, her eyes wide with fervor. I will not live in a lie. I break free from oppression. An older man voiced, shaking off years of silent suffering that clung to him like dust. With each spoken word, darkness seemed to recoil. Eliza felt a rush of warmth, clarity flooding not just her heart but the hearts of all present. Each truth declared was a sword slashing through the fog of uncertainty. Fear of the future, I cast you away. A fresh-faced girl added, her voice bright and hopeful. The walls vibrated with their declarations, each one breaking the oppressive silence that had once held them captive. Small sparks of light began to illuminate the room, flickering and dancing joyfully in response to the growing power of their truth. Anxiety, you have no hold over me anymore. Eliza shouted, the words bursting forth like a long-awaited spring. The space around them shimmered, the flickers of light uniting into a radiant glow that enveloped them. I stand tall, unshaken. The angel hovered above, beaming with approval. Courage flows from open hearts. Prepare for the next step of your journey. It proclaimed while the air hummed with divine energy. Suddenly, the chill returned, thickening the air with malice. The shadows are stirring, they do not yield without a fight, the angel warned, eyes penetrating into the darkness. A sense of foreboding swept through the congregation, yet something stronger burned in their hearts, resolve. Fear cannot intertwine with faith. Eliza shouted, drawing from an inexhaustible well of courage in her spirit. We will confront the darkness together. Murmurs surged through the crowd, a wave of doubt attempting to weaken their resolve. What if we aren't strong enough? Someone whispered, their voice trembling. Strength comes through unity. Eliza urged passionately. We are more than just individuals, we are a body, fortified by grace. Not one of us is alone, another voice echoed back. With faith, we can challenge the very gates of hell. Eliza felt the shift in energy, doubt was starting to dissolve. Hope began to stitch itself back into the fabric of their collective spirit. The atmosphere throbbed with power, the kind of power that comes when hearts align and truth prevails. Pray without ceasing. The angel encouraged, wings fluttering in affirmation. Each prayer elevates your spirit. Each prayer is a blow to the darkness. Eliza raised her voice, inviting others to join. Let us pray together. We declare our freedom, our victory, not just today, but over every hidden assignment of evil. Their voices intertwined, lifting to the heavens. The sound was a beautiful cacophony, a weapon forged in faith. As their prayers climbed toward the divine, they sensed something massive stirring in the atmosphere, the rumble of unseen forces preparing to challenge their resolve. Eliza sensed an electric anticipation, like thunder waiting for the rain. What will rise against us, and what will we encounter in this divine warfare? She pondered, heart racing with a mixture of excitement and fear. What other secrets lay hidden as they marched forward into the unknown? Would the power of their unity be sufficient to conquer what awaited them? The atmosphere thickened, becoming charged with an imminent clash between faith and darkness. Eliza felt it in her bones, a pulse of ancient power that echoed through the ages, reverberating in the hearts of those around her. The angel's wings drew the gathered souls into a divine embrace, urging them forward even as shadows stirred with malicious intent. Suddenly, a deafening roar broke the air, like thunder vibrating through their very spirits. It was the voice of doubt, ominous and heavy, echoing with a deceptive familiarity. "What do you think you are doing?" It boomed, seeking to sow discord amidst their unified strength. "You are nothing but mere mortals, powerless against the forces that loom before you." Yet, within that cacophony of fear, Eliza felt her resolve sharpen. "We are not powerless," she called back, her voice steady, rattling with conviction. "We move not in our own strength but in the unfathomable grace of God. Darkness has no claim over us." The gathering erupted in a chorus of affirmations. "We are redeemed," shouted the man who had broken free from oppression. "We are warriors," declared the girl who dared to cast aside fear. Each proclamation pushed back against the looming shadows, fortifying their collective courage. The angel hovered above, its presence emanating a comforting light. "Remember, you are equipped with divine armor. The weapons of your warfare are not carnal but mighty through God." With these words, the congregation felt a surge of energy course through them, a tangible reminder of the spiritual arsenal within their grasp. "Hold tight to the shield of faith," Eliza urged, raising her arms high, as if lifting an invisible shield against the encroaching darkness. "Let the light we carry pierce through the deepest shadows." Their prayers intensified. Like wildfire, the sound of their collective cries reached higher, intertwining with the very fabric of heaven. Every word was a defiance, a claim against the evil that sought to confine them. "We are free. We are healed. We are whole." They could feel the strength of their unity solidify into an unbreakable bond, a fortress, warding off the despair that slithered around them. Suddenly, a thick fog descended, curling around their feet like an uninvited guest. It brought with it a chill that threatened to extinguish the warmth of their faith. Eliza sensed the spirit of confusion trying to creep in, trying to plant questions in the fertile soil of their hearts. "What if this is just a game?" it whispered. "What if you are fooling yourselves? Stand firm." The angel shouted, its voice slicing through the fog. "The truth is a powerful weapon. Your faith is stronger than any doubt." With every ounce of conviction, Eliza raised her voice above the haze. "We declare clarity in the face of confusion. We claim wisdom that surpasses understanding. We are not swayed by whispers of despair but anchored in truth." The fog began to lift under the heat of their fervor, and beams of divine light pierced through, illuminating the space around them. It was a beautiful sight, every face radiant, every soul strengthened, reflecting the divine truth of their powerful unity. Yet, fear lingered at the edges. "What if the worst is yet to come?" it hissed, dark and insistent, as new shadows emerged, twisted figures that shimmered and flickered, like mirages disappearing into thin air. Eliza's heart raced, and she felt a rush of fear mix with her faith, but she wouldn't back down. "We will not cower. We are armed with prayer. And we are covered with His promise," she proclaimed with a revelation that struck at the core of her being. As they pressed into prayer, hands linked tightly, Eliza felt a palpable pulse of power flow through the circle, feeding off their unwavering faith. "The darkness may grow loud, but their voices soared higher. What is the next move in this battle? She wondered, every heartbeat echoing in anticipation. In this crucible of faith, a pivotal moment loomed. Would they harness the full armor of God against the shadows gathering for one final stand? The answers hovered just beyond their reach in the swirling currents of divine purpose, waiting to reveal the next steps in their sacred journey. What wonders or dangers awaited them on the other side? The fog began to strain against the brilliance of their prayers, twisting and curling, but it could not hold its ground. Each voice shaped a vibrant current of hope, melting through the shadows like dawn breaking the night. Eliza could feel the energy shifting. It was as if the very air breathed with possibility, carrying their faith to the heavens. Look! What do you see? The angel's voice reverberated again, calling their attention to the space spiraling around them. Every head turned, every heart aligned, drawn into the magnetism of its words. The shadows, once formidable and mocking, were now beginning to flicker, their forms less defined as if the light was stripping them of substance. Stand strong together. Eliza cried out, heart full, boldness cascading through her every word. In this hour, we confirm our faith, our trust, our very lives into the hands of the one who has called us. No darkness will overshadow the light we bear. With fervent cries, they cried to God, a raw, honest prayer that blazed through their midst, hotter than any fire. The warmth spread, like a comforting embrace washing over them, healing wounds both seen and unseen. Your love endures. Someone shouted, igniting a spark that leapt from heart to heart. Your grace is our strength. Another echoed, fanning the flame higher. The shadows quivered as if battling back against this surge of light. For every whisper of doubt it hissed, the gathering responded with declarations of promise. We are cherished. We walk in victory. We are filled with His Spirit. Each affirmation echoed in the air, creating a harmonious symphony that grew louder, piercing through the cacophony around them. With each declaration, chains of oppression began to break. Just in the corner of her vision, Eliza caught sight of dark figures stumbling back, unsteady under the pressure of the unity and faith radiating from the congregation. It was a sight captivating enough to silence even the most tenacious doubts. Yet, among these victories, Eliza sensed a sliver of darkness, a residual fear clawing at their hearts. What if we're not done? She thought. What if the worst is yet to transpire? The question gnawed at her stomach, leaving a taste of uncertainty on her tongue. She fought against it but could not dismiss it. It loomed like a distant storm cloud. Cast aside the weight of fear. The angel urged, its wings stirring the air like a whirlwind. Focus instead on the truth that is standing before you. What is impossible for man is fully possible for God. And suddenly, in one powerful movement, the angel descended lower, closer to the circle. It is not only grounded in faith that you shall win this battle, it proclaimed, but it harnesses the power in your collective voices. Speak what you wish to see, manifest your heart's desires. Bring forth the very fabric of hope into existence. Eliza, emboldened by the angel's presence, lifted her arms. We prophesy restoration. We declare healing, work of miracles, and divine release from bondages. The sound rose, a spirit-filled crescendo that enveloped them, shaking the foundations of the darkness, but there it was again, the voice of doubt, less distant now. Can you truly conquer this darkness? Do you have the strength? It sneered, gnawing at the edges of their hope. The figures around them shifted, expressions marred with fleeting anxiety, and Eliza recognized that this was the true test. Fear not. Eliza shouted, her voice lifting amidst the din. For even if the storm rages, we are held by a steadfast love, a love that casts out fear. We are warriors, and we will not back down. As she spoke, the trembling around them lessened, the shadows receding further. Eliza was more determined than ever. They were standing on the cusp of divine transformation, and she sensed that something remarkable was about to unfold. What would be born from this moment? What mighty breakthroughs would spring forth from their unwavering unity? In this sacred space, the air was electric. Answers loomed just beyond their grasp, shrouded in mystery. What profound revelations awaited at the end of this spiritual clash? The moon hung high over Everwood, casting a soft glow on the faces of its faithful. The congregation stood together, a tapestry of hope and vulnerability united under Eliza's fervent leadership. The air crackled with divine anticipation, a palpable force drawing them closer as they prepared for the final confrontation. Eliza felt the angel's presence like a steady pulse within her, guiding her to the edge of the unknown. "This is our moment," she declared, her voice rising like incense in the night. "Everything we have faced, every shadow we have cast aside, has led us here. Together, we stand upon holy ground." The angel nodded, wings shimmering with a brilliance that pushed back the encroaching darkness. "Remember, your unity holds power, your prayers are weapons forged in heaven. Speak truth, weave your hopes into reality." With renewed vigor, Eliza turned her gaze toward her friends, all standing bold and brave. "What burdens do we cast off tonight? What chains do we break?" With this question, it was as if a dam burst within the hearts of the congregation. They began speaking forth, each declaration echoing against the walls. "Shame, you have no hold on me," cried a voice from the back, strong and unwavering. "Fear, I send you fleeing," added a youthful voice, eyes alight with purpose. "Despair, I choose joy instead," shouted another, the words ringing clear as crystal. With each proclamation, the shades that loomed around them appeared to diminish, flickering like shadows before the dawn. Eliza let the energy wash over her, a fierce tide of shared purpose and holy love flooding her heart. She could feel the light engulfing them, a warm embrace that soothed and empowered. "Together, we claim what was taken," Eliza urged, locking eyes with each member of her beloved community. "Let us lift our voices and declare the victory. Darkness cannot withstand the light born of our unity." With one powerful heartbeat, they raised their voices as one, a symphony of solidarity cascading through the air. "We are free. We are healed. We declare our victory." The toll of their faith rang out like a bell, vibrations resonating deep within the atmosphere. The shadows hung back, wavering beneath the force of their voices, and whispers of despair seemed to lose their grip. Hope surged within Eliza. She felt it. They were on the brink of something magnificent. As their declarations filled the church, the angel lifted its sword of light, radiating warmth that infused Eliza's spirit with the sweetness of divine intervention. "Your faith transforms the unseen. Stand firm as the final chain is shattered." Eliza carried that charge within her, unleashing one more declaration. "We break the spirit of division. We stand united in love." In response, the ground trembled, and the very air vibrated with expectancy. The dark figures around them shrank back, their forms dissipating like smoke in the wind. "No longer will you plague our hearts," Eliza shouted, guiding her community to join her. "We will not be shaken." As one body, they surged like a tidal wave, voices rising higher, piercing through the veil of uncertainty. A brilliant light erupted at the altar, merging with the angel's ethereal glow. The shadows began retreating, flickering like sinister candles snuffed out by sudden brilliance. "Witness the power of faith," the angel proclaimed, voice echoing through the sanctuary. "Your unity has pulled back the veil and exposed the darkness for what it is, nothing compared to the light you carry." Eliza lifted her hands, tears of joy streaming down her cheeks. The fears that had once held her captive began to crumble, replaced with an indescribable peace. The dark voices that had whispered doubt in her ears were silenced under the chorus of truth. The congregation burst into a joyful song, celebrating their triumph. Laughter bubbled up amidst the tears, hearts swelled with gratitude and relief. Everwood resounded with triumph over darkness, a town transformed, a community restored. "Fear not, for the battle is won." The angel rejoiced. "You are free. Cling to this freedom as you return to your homes." Remember the light you share, let it guide your way and burn brightly against any shadow. The glow enveloped them, swirling like a sacred mist, and Eliza felt the presence of God intimate and undeniable. As the congregation dispersed into the night, a sweet hush fell over Everwood. They walked home, hearts no longer burdened but light, shadows chased away by the radiant glow within them. Eliza reveled in the love that encircled her like an unbreakable shield. In this divine conclusion, they had not only battled the shadows but had embraced the light and forged deeper relationships with one another and with God. Their journey had transformed them, revealing the true strength that lies in unity and faith. Every tear shed became fuel for their flame, every struggle a testament to their unwavering hope, and so, as they stepped forward into a new dawn transformed and emboldened, one promise echoed in their hearts: together, they were victorious and forever changed. Now, friends, do not let this moment fade. You need to subscribe immediately to our channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories that will uplift and inspire your spirit. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure these life-changing testimonies reach those who need them. Comment below and share your reactions and testimonies about this powerful ending. Your words could ignite hope in someone's life. Finally, share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this divine manifestation. Don't wait even one more second to share. True servants of God understand the importance of supporting this channel through these actions. Let us shine light together.